live. 2022 GSL Season 1 code.s.
Welcome back, everybody. After a very short 2-0 with ByuN coming out victorious versus RagnaroK, we're back and we're ready to go into our next match.
Yeah, it was great to see from ByuN that he's actually playing very well here today. And suddenly he's tied up with RagnaroK. Look how quickly your fortunes can change. Because guess what, Tasis? When you go up, someone else goes down.
It's a zero-sum game.
Well, I don't know about that, Tasis. All the fans are going to end up winning in the end, aren't they?
That's right. They're the true victors here.
Yeah, but pro gamers are worth more than fans. So I guess actually it is zero-sum, yeah.
Yes, yes. So Trap coming into this. He's had a so-so performance so far here. Again, there was a bit of a surprise when he lost to RagnaroK earlier. RagnaroK having a very strong showing just a week ago. But let's see how he's going to play here today.
Yeah, he's got to pick it up. Don't forget, as long as he gets top 4 in the group, he has 10 round of 8s in a row. 10 top 8s, I guess, is what we would have to call it if he gets, 4th in his group. Now, Ryung, 3-3, but that doesn't really show just how well he's playing. Ryung, right now, he's like kind of replaced like Bunny, I think, as like the new exciting kind of, which is funny because he's like older than everyone basically, but he's playing so well recently.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that they've both been playing recently, past couple weeks, I give the advantage to Ryung.
Yeah, Ryung is playing better than we've really ever seen.
Yeah,
this
is his best play
He's almost
ever.
looking like the best Terran in the world right now, which is kind of a surprise.
Yeah, and he even had, I want to say, a top 4 in GSL code.s.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
A while back, but yeah, so.
But he looks better than that by far.
All right, get the dog on acapella group ready.
2022 GSL Season 1.
You hear it now, right?
I hear it. I hear it.
Free.
Well, they definitely did. They ran it through a filter, though, So put his mouth over the dog mouth, his hands over the dog mouths while they did it or something.
It sounds like a muffled dog trying to sing.
Team GP, ByuN.
Did you prefer when you were playing, because Ryung's on Team GP, so this made me think of it.
Yeah.
When you played games, did you prefer it was called Gold or GP?
Gold or GP? A gold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got why they called it GP in some games.
That's weird.
Yeah. Just throwing that out there.
There's no question.
Yeah.
It's gold.
Yeah, I think so.
Again, our beautiful audience.
Look at the cutie!
Little babies. Future pro gamers.
Babies love StarCraft.
They do.
Your kid is growing up when they switch from StarCraft to something like Fortnite, Tasteless.
They're growing up.
Yeah.
Well, that means they've gone the wrong way.
They have.
Yeah, they've lost their way.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone knows the worst stage of human existence is the teenage years.
Oh, being a teenager was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, would you agree?
Oh God.
All of high school, actually, in general, I'm just like
awful. Worst period.
That
of my
has
life.
to be the worst period of my life,
by far.
By far. And if you think it's not, then the future is not good.
Yeah,
like,
you can't have everything great.
Well, it's like, how could you? I don't even know how you could like that. It's like when you're like trapped in this institution all day, and then when you leave, they make you do homework and stuff. It's like, no. And you're hormonal.
Yeah.
And you're having to learn stuff like trigonometry and stuff. It's like, what? Get me out of here!
We have here, okay. Second racks and a factory. Okay. What do you think about this? This looks to me like it's going to be almost like a 2-on-1, right?
Yeah, seems like it.
not something that I would really expect. It's not a very popular way to play. It's like if someone was to do it, I would think it would be ByuN.
Oh, the probe, man.
Look, he's going to get the other Marine, too. Damn. That was depth probe combo.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy to see. Yeah, I don't think we get to cast this very often, but this is kind of an interesting approach. I mean, clearly it's designed to you know, hit the Protoss as they're taking their third. Almost all Protoss players are taking a third within the, you know, a minute or two now.
Oh, this is actually not exactly what I was thinking it would be. Like, he's getting a Cyclone? I thought what we would see there is maybe just utilizing that as you know, maybe a reactor maker for a starport or something.
Oh,
the factory. But I mean, obviously the Cyclone's going to be very useful here against the Oracle.
Yeah, and it's going to come out right about when the Oracle gets in there. And there's a chance you just lose the Oracle if you're not super fast at reacting.
I think it'd be pretty surprising, though. Oh, he actually just shades right on top of those Marines. Comes in with the Oracle as well. Going to fly that out. Well, he's reducing the Marine count slightly, but that didn't feel super good. He is taking his third Nexus now, so trap expanding. But look at this build from Ryung. I feel like Ryung has some cool teched out stuff. Like, look, he's adding, instead of a starport, he is getting a third Rax here. And he's made a siege tank.
Yeah, this is funny. Nice tag
there.
Yeah,
it's really interesting because
this is not the normal way Terran develops.
No, it's not. What this looks like, oh my god, he has that trapped. That's
funny.
Funny.
Well, it won't be trapped forever, but it's annoying for now.
Yeah, so I feel like what we're looking at here is he's just going to do a very strong timing push. I actually thought for a moment he might go before the starport, but this is going out a little bit slowly. Look at this, the entire army is just 3 Oracles. It's literally all he has.
Yeah, this is pretty bad for Ryung.
That's all he has, and then it comes and kills everything. Oh my god.
He drops 1 Oracle.
Okay, I think you have to push out.
Well, I think you have to. I don't know that it's going to work, but I don't know what you can do from here, you know.
I think it has decent potential to do something. Right? Like, the army is
the
so
Oracles can't
small.
help defend. I mean, they use the most of their energy, so.
Yeah, and once you hit critical mass, they don't really do much anyways. I mean, when you get a couple medevacs with this, I mean, he's going to have a fair amount. It feels like it's taken a long time, though. Definitely a different opener here from Ryung.
Yeah, well, I like that he's got his own style. And that's always exciting when you see somebody really winning and it doesn't look like it's just a carbon copy of what Mario does.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he's going to have to move out here in a little bit because otherwise it's just going to be a Terran taking a third base very, very late and the Protoss continuing to get further ahead. I think we're basically waiting on the medevacs to come out. Oh, nice flank.
To be fair, though, on what you said there, like, and yeah, he's got to move out, but I think Ryung has some of the best late-game TVP that's out there right now. So, you know, even if he doesn't do damage, I think he's got fair chances. Trap was not playing particularly well last week. We'll see about this week. Stalkers come in for a poke, but not... I mean, they pick off a few Marines there, take a bit of hull damage on a few Stalkers.
Chases it back here. And, you know, this is just getting better and better, it feels like, for Trap.
Yeah.
I feel like Trap is just getting so much farther ahead now. Charge is coming here.
Oh, that's a good pick. Prism is coming up right now as well, so very important tool coming into the pocket here of Trap.
So we're still waiting to see if Ryung can actually make anything happen. But it's been a rough game overall for him so far here. And at this point in time, oh, he didn't see that, did he? Okay, no, he's going to spot it now.
I like the idea, but
yeah,
nice catch there from Ryung. I think it's always worth it to try to put something like that on the map.
Yeah, well,
it can get you some funny wins.
It would have probably set up an attack that could just end up killing off this base. And now we're going to have the War Prism come into the main now. I mean, there's no Viking to shoot this down or anything like that, so it's going to be more damage for Ryung as Trap just continues to pile on his lead.
Yeah, I think Trap has to be feeling pretty good about his position right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, everything he's doing is working. It's all going to add up. He forces the SCVs to stop. He pulls right back out, only losing one Zealot. And didn't even need to warp in. Back at the Protoss's home, another Nexus and Psystorm is coming.
Well, it definitely does need that Psystorm. Already has some High Templars out here. Ooh, good recall.
Yeah, good save of that.
Yeah, there are ghosts on the way, though, which is nice to see, I gotta say.
Well,
like, you know, we do talk about it a lot. I feel like every time that we see Trap play, we talk about whether or not you have ghosts before the High Templars storm you, because so many Terrans don't. But here, Ryung is going to have like at least one ghost out. So
yeah, but it's in the medevac, and that's kind of a you can bank them in there, and it's a little bit harder to get the EMP to connect. You know,
for sure.
If it's Templars just moving on the ground, and one of the easier things in the game to do is to EMP them. And pretty good little footsies there from Trap. He does maneuver up here. He just has to hack and saw his way through these Widow Mines.
Okay, some of the mines are going to end up hitting, but he actually picks some of them off as well. Really good micro from Trap so far. Yeah. I really like how he took that engagement. I really like the retreat as well.
I think the retreat is, you know, it's such a sign of a good player. I mean, so much of, you know, StarCraft that's not at the highest level is basically players committing to attacks and then losing, and it's like, yeah, I mean, if there was one mistake you made, it was throwing your army into that, you know. Look for opportunities elsewhere. 100%. And that's what Trap did. I mean, Trap's already, you know, in a good position, but he doesn't want to take an engagement unless he knows he can win it, and that's why he's been, you know, for quite a while now, the best Protoss in Korea.
Well, hopefully he can continue to be that way, right? Like, feels like he hasn't had the greatest season so far. I mean, he's still in it, so we shouldn't talk too much yet. Who knows, maybe he comes back, wins the season.
Yeah.
But definitely do need to take down Ryung here. This is becoming a highly contested group with, you know, ByuN playing so well here so far. Look at that. Okay, okay. Comes right up and zones that back. Doesn't go overboard with like a quick overcharge or anything like that. Ryung, though, is roaming quite nicely. He has a very good economy himself. We have a little bit of a charge lock counter into the natural right now.
Yeah, and I really like this. It's going to make things a little bit more difficult. And again, you know, Ryung just keeps ballooning out on his side of the map and taking more and more bases. And with very low cost, you know, it's... Oh, sorry, I meant Trap ballooning out here on the map. But, you know, at a very low cost, Trap is keeping Ryung back and keeping Ryung from really interfering with him.
Yeah, like I feel like he's harassing just right. Like he's sending in just the right amount of Zealots where he's not in fear of dying, but he's still doing damage. He kind of forces him back. Now this, I'm not as sure about. He almost lost that Prism there.
Well, Archon's in the back and Stalker's in the front is not how you want to do it.
Generally not.
Nice storm, though.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
He's got to be careful. This War Prism is so insanely low.
Well, he's going to lose all of that now. Does get some storms off. Definitely needs some big rounds back at home. He needs to run away as well. I think it's very important for him to keep those 3 Immortals alive right now and kind of just replenish this army.
And Trap's regrouping. He's going to be looking for another place to hit. It's okay to leave the Terran on the 3 bases because I think the 3rd is pretty hard to attack into, but this 4th is going to be a much more desirable target. And so he's going to come down here now and just move in for the surround. And you can see the SCVs have been pulled. Huge Psystorms there.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about for an attack, having your cake and eating it too. He like targets the CC and he's going to kill the army here.
Yeah, it looks like Ryung is starting to push it back a little bit. It's very Marauder heavy. Gets rid of the Immortals now, and the Colossi should fall next. So Ryung will end up killing off this army. You know what? I still think that this is very good for Trap, though. Look how many bases he has at home. He killed. Killed the command. The SCV count is still okay for Ryung.
Yeah, the SCV count's good, but yeah, I mean, Trap is just kind of putting on so much hurt right now.
And retaining those immortals for that long, that's
Yeah.
what allowed him to really kill that planetary, do that move in and everything.
Yeah.
So I think this has been a really nice game from Trap, and as long as he sits back defensively right now and rebuilds his army so that it can actually just kind of fight, then I really like his spot. But right now, like, this is where Ryung does have a stronger army.
Right.
You know, when you lose all your technicality as the Protoss, the Terran is absolutely going to be stronger for a little bit.
And so the question is going to be, can Ryung do something in this small window of time? Because if not, Ryung is going to, you know, continue to mass up and just have a better army that's going to be dead set on taking out the 4th base once more.
Well, he's doing okay on this engage already. Like, he's gotten some good EMPs off. Okay, another Psy Storm's coming out from the side.
Yeah, really good kiting here from Trap. He's kind of danced his way around this. The Nexus, I think, was canceled, or was that killed?
I think it was probably canceled. I wasn't really watching that part, but he kills off the Stalkers and then picks up. I gotta say, like, even though it still feels to me like Trap is going to win this game, there's some masterful play going on from Ryung.
No, Ryung is clearly very, very strong.
Yeah.
Oh, don't run from that.
This is like one of those games where the guy that's losing, I'm just going to talk about Grady, is like I used to do with Kier years ago.
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Where it's, I remember people called me out. They're like, you keep saying he's playing really great, but he loses. It's like, yes, both can exist together, and that's what we're seeing here from Ryung. He's putting out a great game. He's making a lot of really smart moves, but Trap, his harassment has been too strong. His attacks have been too strong.
And it's Ryung on the defense right now. You know, if he loses either the 3rd or the 4th, it's going to be a total disaster. This is an orbital, not a planetary, mind you, so, you know, there's not a lot of kind of resilience here on the Terran side, and so this is an easy shove. Knocks that away, looking for a little bit more. He comes in with the DTs.
Yeah, and the other DT will get away. DT Blink is on the way as well. But this is getting pretty bad. Like, Trap is just on the edge here the entire time, poking in, poking out. Disruptors being added in, that's going to make it just that much harder for Ryung to get any of the engagements that he wants. Does feel like, and it's funny because army supply actually the same. Like, we have great upgrades for Ryung and everything, but this feels like it's getting worse and worse.
Yeah, and another dive over here again. Ooh. You know, I think the angles could be good for Ryung here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the force fields were a good try.
Swiss cheese force fields there. Somehow these Colossi are still alive, and honestly, I thought this attack was going to go much worse for Trap, but here we are. Oh my God, the DT is going to kill every SCV.
Absolutely brutal there. Ryung trying to kill off this army.
I just like
barely
can't believe how much the GG. Okay, those Colossi. Where are the world's Colossi there? GG Trap. You know, just a completely perfect performance.
Dude, he won that game on the edges. Like, it was all those little Zealot counters, that DT counter, you know.
Yeah.
The retreat he did where he saved the 3 Immortals, which allowed him to kill the planetary. There was like a lot of little things that Trap did that just put him over the top there. And you could see Ryung was ready to snap armies really quickly and almost even did at the end despite all the damage he took.
Right.
It is, like, honestly, I would not be overly surprised if Ryung still wins this series. Like, he actually played a very nice game there in a lot of ways.
Man, yeah, I think it's funny you were joking about this, like, Ryung's losing, but we're talking about how good he is, but I think you're right. Like, I think a lot of other players die a lot faster when Trap plays that well, but Ryung hanging on.
No, it was a very good PBT from Trap. Like, he played that very, very well. And it's good to see Trap playing well tonight because I want him to advance. I want him to do well. But, yeah, Ryung looking top tier.
For sure. We're going to Berlingrad.
Some top shelf Ryung right now.
Some top shelf?
Yeah.
From some bottom shelf casters.
Yeah, you better believe that.
Yeah. We're the you know, not the boxes of cereal, but the bags right at the bottom.
Yes. Oh, with the wrong names and the wrong characters on the bags.
They're like, it's like so clearly almost counterfeit or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
It's like we're not Fruit Loops, we're like candy rings or whatever.
There's a bowl taped to the bag to get you to buy it.
That's
2022 GSL Season
You're the
1.
bowl tastes.
Oh, that's so funny.
You don't even change colors. It's like the saddest cereal bowl.
Guangdong Freak, Trap. Team GP, Ryung.
Did you ever hear of like cereal bars?
Cereal bars, yeah.
Yeah, that was like is that still a thing
I think so.
anywhere?
Yeah, like anything that's like bad for you and sugary is definitely still a thing somewhere.
No, but I mean, there's places you could go and you could just order cereal.
Oh, I thought you meant like a cereal bar, like cereal in a bar that you like eat.
Oh, no.
So a bar
This
where
was
you
like
eat
this
cereal.
hipster idea. That you like.
No,
we're
explain
gonna
it to me.
have
I
a
never heard of
place. Yeah. So I there was actually one in Korea. I like walked by and I'm like, that's gonna go out of business. But I don't. Again, somebody tweeted me and tell me if it's actually like a thing or not. But like,
Explain, yeah.
or at least if it still is. But yeah, it's like you open up a place.
Okay.
And you can order cereal. That's it.
And they give you like milk with the cereal or whatever?
Yeah.
If you want orange juice in your cereal, is that okay? Or water?
Probably the really good ones, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're like a crazy person, you like eat your cereal with like Diet Coke or something like that. Because you're a lunatic and like,
that would be a
yeah,
lunatic thing
you
to
should
do.
you should be locked up, but somehow you're roaming free and eating your cereal with soda.
So a cereal bar where you just go there and order cereal. I
Yeah.
tell you what, that I would wish that existed because then I could bring my kids to the bar.
Yeah. Oh no, there's no alcohol at the bar. It's
Yeah, no, I got that.
Okay, got it. All right. I was like, how is he not getting this? Like, this is insane. Like, it's not a complicated, like, concept.
Yes, I would like my Lucky Charms
Yes.
with a white.
Can I have
Russian.
my Lucky Charms and a Guinness, please? Like,
Oh my God. That's wild. I had
yeah,
no
I
idea.
don't know
I
if
never
it's
heard
a
of that
thing.
before.
Yeah,
I think you
I think
made
it was
it
popular
up,
in LA.
actually.
Yeah, maybe I did.
I think you had a dream and
Yeah.
you think that's going to make you a millionaire,
Like-
and
like-
all it's going to do is make you broke.
3 months later, they found a large tumor on Tasos's brain. Everybody was getting worried when he started talking about cereal bars being a thing.
Oh, God. Okay, quick Twilight here, and a quick Cyclone. Okay. Well, I mean, Blink Soccer opener is obviously going to be pretty solid against a Cyclone opener. Cyclone is not going to find much value there. More of an anti-starport unit.
Right. Little defensive measure to take here. We've got Blink coming again.
So want to tempt fate with that Adept. Starport coming up as well.
Yeah.
Siege tank. Okay, so it's similar to last game, but with 1 Rax.
Right. And then the other game, he powered up a little bit more quickly, but it was kind of a surprising moment because Trap did like a lot of damage with every little jab he did, and so basically what Ryung wanted to do basically didn't happen. He wasn't able to kind of muster the army he wanted to, so he ended up just taking a third, and it was kind of a slow game from Ryung's perspective, but a necessarily slow one because of the damage that the Trap did.
But I think that we could see from that game that if Trap doesn't get that type of damage, if you look at like the oracles into, all the little harassments that we were talking about a bit more later on, if he doesn't get that type of damage, I mean, Ryung is getting very, very good at taking fights in this matchup. Like, he's really good at engaging the Protoss army, one of the best,
Right.
without a doubt. It's actually nice to have some Terrans popping up who can actually fight Protoss late game.
Well, it did seem like for a season or two of GSL, it was like watch Terrans walk out across the map and lose their armies and leave the game. So yeah, it's good to have.
Well, it's been such a common thing for such a long time. A lot of Terrans just couldn't fight against late game Protoss very well.
Yeah.
And there was periods where we'd have like 2-3 Terrans in the world, like Maru, TY, and Tasia could fight late game against Protoss. But like Ryung, and he's not even doing it in the more old school style way. But he's, I don't know, he's engaging well. It's really good to see. I think if more people learn how to fight like Ryung is, we're gonna, I don't know, it just makes it more interesting, right? Because some you watch some Terrans and it feels inevitable, like a certain number of splash units get out. It's like Protoss gets 7 splash units and the Terran can't win. Like, that type of thing.
Well, this, I think, is just going to take the Nexus out. I don't know the Trap can get over here in time. He basically snuck in here. The battery actually getting hit here gets a little bit of value out of it before it is ultimately picked off. But, I mean, this is going to be a tough one. You know, it's not every day that you see the Terran push the Protoss' third and win, but, you know, the Terran basically Protoss, excuse me, unable to, you know, set up and defend in time, excuse me.
Yeah, and look at home. He's got a couple siege tanks. He's got a fair amount of Marines.
And I don't even think this is going to be able to do that much. He's got.
I think he'll actually kill a fair amount of SCVs. I think if he goes around, but like Ryung's not going to die to this. All right, landing the Vikings as well. They actually do really decent damage against Stalkers. Oh, nice pickup. 6.
Yeah, blinks in over here. Not bad. Even getting the medevac, that's pretty big. Kind of unexpected to never see that when you blink into the base, but
yeah, this is not bad. Like 10 SCVs, a medevac so far. Does lose some Stalkers, of course, but that seemed like some reasonable counter harassment.
Yeah, yeah. It did a lot more than I thought it was going to do, to be honest. And so the third base is being restarted, this time in a new location. But I feel like, you know, Ryung's in incredible shape right now. The stim has actually been started very, very late, but that's kind of by design. I mean, that's why that build surprised Trap, and he just got blindsided.
What do you think about the Dark Shrine that just finished? That is not a building that I expected at this point. Like, you go blink, you lose your third, you do some counter harass,
yeah, I'm glad
and you go DT.
I'm glad you mentioned it, because I actually wouldn't have noticed it. But he's already got a DT out, and like, you know, if Terran's not prepared for this,
dude, it could be really good. Like, especially if you just did some decent harassment. They're like really on top of dropping mules to make sure they're catching up. But look, he's got enough for a scan there. 3 Vikings over here. Well, I don't think this is going to really do anything.
I think this would have done a lot more if he had actually not seen the Warp Prism coming in here.
Oh, for sure.
And then maybe like maybe this one over here might do a little bit more. But, you know, all you got to do is kill a few SCVs, and the DT is basically paid for itself, right? So this is pretty good.
10 SCVs for 2 DTs and a Prism. But that also opens up Ryung to a possible counterattack, I think, here. Like, okay.
Do you mean Trap to a counterattack?
Or Ryung to counter-attacking Trap.
Oh,
I don't know.
see.
There's like several different ways I guess I could say that. It wasn't very clear, but you know, when someone goes for DT, their army is a little bit soft, but what I like about Trap's build here is this is like his 3rd Immortal that he's making. So like, the softness that you oftentimes get from going DT is not that big a deal. In fact, he's making a few more. Look, if you make these into Archons, if you have like 2 Archons, 3 Immortals, you're actually just fine. Like, Ryung can't really do anything against that. Look at those 2 DTs. Is he getting DT blink? Can we have like those things pretend that they're Stalkers?
Oh, look at this. Hey! Not worth it.
Yeah. He walks on, starts microing it away. It's like, what?
Yeah.
That's an early game unit, my friends.
Yeah. So, not everything, but some of what Terran has been pushed up to the top, but it looks like he's pulling back around. Trap is still building up, but this is right now 3 base to 3 base. Normally we see the Protoss trying to, like, tempo-wise outgrow the Terran. This time, okay, never mind, he is going to get that 4th. I was going to say, I'm like, he's either going to attack in here, which wouldn't make a whole lot of sense with how many tanks are available, or he needs to start outgrowing the Terran. And so he is going to take that 4th. It's a little bit late. Trap kind of playing this game a little bit differently, I think, because of losing that 3rd early on.
Yeah.
But, you know, trying to match the Terran and have a little bit more.
I like this game. From both sides. Like, I feel like there's been a lot of good moves. I like how Trap has developed here. I'm fascinated by the DT before High Templar play. Yeah. Although, you know, as these supplies peak up a little bit, yeah, the very first splash damage is not here yet. I guess it's going to be here before he can hit an attack, so...
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah, Trap should be all right.
So he's got these zealots shift-clicked down here to basically wait for the moment that Terran is going to try to push out, and he wants to buy a little bit more time. We saw this in the last game, but you know, I don't know how ready exactly Ryung is going to be for this when he comes out.
A couple cannons and a battery being set up at this new base. Looks like we have Colossus tech incoming as well.
Things have really slowed down here. You know, it's become a pretty quiet game from the Terran, but I think he is going to be pushing it a little bit. So he is getting that EMP.
Just a little bit of scuffling in the center here, clearing observers and whatnot.
And
Protoss in a good defensive stance.
Yeah, Protoss expands once more up here at the top center.
Kind of making it Ryung's problem to attack in right now, which I quite like, because it doesn't feel like Trap can attack. Not the way he opened this game. Those Zealots very patiently waiting. Ryung does have some units off on the side there to catch those coming in. So if they're on an attack move, that's going to be, you know, use up a charge, slow them down a bit, give them some advanced warning. Ryung getting ready for another base himself. Ooh, good catch.
Yeah,
very excellent catch.
That's big.
2 DTs in there as well.
Ah, nice snipe over there with the Stalkers getting the mine as well.
Very nice.
And I don't think that Trap wants to fully engage. I think he wants to make Terran uncomfortable about leaving the map, because he's gotten back into the position he wants to be in, where he's just gobbling up so many resources on the map. Terran slowly going to land this 4th base over here at 3 o'clock on the mini-map.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that, though. Like, Trap does not want to attack. His army is very cool looking and a very decent mid-game army, but he is right now very quickly trying to get into that second form of Splash, and enough of it. Like, he has 2 Colossi that are going to pop out pretty soon. When Thermalance and 4 are done, plus 4 Immortals, plus Storm, yeah, that is a scary army. That is something that is very hard to attack. And he's still just roaming. Look how far forward he roams, too.
Yeah, yeah,
Love
it's kind of like an idea from Brood War PvT, where it's like you just kind of want to orbit around the army, and then if they leave, you just run around him and go back into a base and hit it, because in this case, the Terran is just operating off much less. Nice side storm there.
That hit high tempo.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I got so confused. I'm like, did the Nexus do that? All right, 2 more hit Templars.
Yeah, both of them really looking for each other to go out of position, and even though he kind of almost finds Trap out of position, he has those High Templars waiting. The charge lots that were kind of waiting for some harassment on the side will slow him down here, but it seems like they're just going to die in this Nexus likely as well. Nope. Colossi come down and push it out. But, you know, that's okay. I think still a good move from Ryung. Up 20 army supply at the moment.
Well, I mean, Protoss now is getting so big, it's actually going to be a problem that Ryung can't stop.
This is...
I mean, we don't actually normally see Protosses get this big in this matchup, but this base in the bottom left, this is insane.
Well, I think that Trap has played this so masterfully. Like, there hasn't been an opportunity for Ryung to attack, in my opinion. And that's like... That is perfectly done from Trap, because that's actually what you want, and he's continued to expand. And the thing is, I think a lot of Terrans would have tried to attack him already, and I think that Trap would have killed them all. So it's a tough spot for Ryung, no doubt. But it feels like Trap has kind of forced it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's tough. I mean, okay, hold on. He's actually going to just push in here now.
This is a funny push.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's really bad for the Protoss, and it might be, but the Colossi are still doing so much damage. Hold on. Now, we need to be able to zoom out even more in StarCraft 2 is what we need. Yeah. I didn't see that army coming from the bottom.
Yeah, the secondary army coming up
Sorry, guys.
Certainly helping.
I'm like, he's being surrounded. He's like, no, I'm surrounding him. I'm like, oh, right.
But then we zoom out more and Ryung is surrounding him again.
Yeah.
Then we zoom out more and we see Atlas holding up the map.
SCV's pulled. It's not going to be enough. He just keeps pushing forward here, and this Protoss army is complex enough to just keep dishing out damage. The Colossi staying alive even. And I think another warping round, and that'll be the finishing blow here for Ryung.
Yeah,
gonna win. Yeah, he takes his hand off the keyboard for a second, digests the loss.
Ouch.
GG.
Yeah.
Trap.
Okay,
Moves.
Trap came to play today, and that
Yeah.
was a beautiful PvT series. I swear to God, Ryung did not play poorly this series, and
No, he looked good.
Trap just, I mean, that was... If I was actively still playing Protoss and StarCraft 2, I would, like, rewatch that series 2-3 times.
Yeah.
Just to take away, like, the concepts that we saw from Trap, the way that he transitioned. Like, he loses a Nexus and very cleanly did everything, like...
Well, also, like, yeah, you drop a Nexus and then you recover against somebody like Ryung and just and win the game. It's like, oh, you're really good.
Yeah,
Like, you could pull out of a mid-game disaster and then bring it into a really drawn-out macro game and still overpower him. You are sick.
Yeah.
The second winner of tonight is Trap. He's currently at 2 points in the standings. So we're going to have an interview with Trap. Today it was a 2-0 victory against the Terran player Ryung. And it feels like you have a 2-0 victory whenever you go up against Terran. So how do you feel today? Well, recently I lost to Ryung in the online tournaments. And during practice, my performance hasn't been great. So I was quite worried. But at the same time, I had the confidence to move on to the next round. So it was kind of a bit of an irony. But today, you know, my performance was good on stage. In Berlingrad, the opponent was gonna go for a Widowmine bait and come in with the siege tanks. And at that moment, what kind of point did you try to exploit from Ryung? Well, had I known that he was coming mid-point, you know, everything was too late for me. You know, I couldn't back up my stalkers. In the process of getting 6 gas, I feel like as long as I stayed in the middle ground and take the 6 gas, I wouldn't have much problem in the late game. And then I was able to stall out the game with the Blink Stalkers. So I felt like if I used the macro, I could just go 5-5 with him in the late game. And the next match will be against Rogue for you, Trap. In week 1, you did lose to RagnaroK, and that was a painful loss for you. So what went on through your mind after that defeat? Well, at the time I did make good preparation. I'm not too sure about the game against Rogue. You know, recently while I've been playing PvZ, my confidence has dropped a bit. You know, subconsciously my PvZ confidence has been dropping a bit. So I think I'm gonna definitely need to focus on PvZ. And today, you know, I won the first match. I got off to a good start, so hopefully I can keep up this momentum till the later game. Alright, so that was the interview with Trap, and that's it.
All right. Very cool to see him playing as well as he did. These games have been a lot faster than the what we did on Thursday, but they've been really impressive. Like strong showings on both sides here.
Yeah, we're having some highly contested matches, so that's very good to see. ByuN and Trap shown that they are absolutely still in it in this group. I feel like anyone can advance at this point. Yeah,
it's making this a lot more interesting. We may even have to do some kind of a tiebreaker or something
it's
like
possible.
that if it actually gets too close, which we have plans for if we get to that.
Yeah, and they go deep. There's like 7 tie breaks deep, so
yeah.
Before we get to flip a coin, which is always the greatest.
So yeah, I mean, Trap keeps this up. I don't think he's going to have too much of an issue moving on. Guys, short break. We'll be right back.